The story of Chakku Palathera. The Buddha preached his teachings to a monk named Chakku Palathera. Before becoming a monk, Chakku Palathera was a layman. He once listened to the Buddha's teachings and gained clarity and deep inspiration from them. His newfound understanding created a strong aspiration to become a monk in the Buddha's order. Upon returning home, he distributed all his wealth to his younger brother and renounced worldly life to join the monkhood under the Buddha. After spending 5 rainy seasons as a monk, Chakku Palathera sought meditation instructions directly from the Buddha. Receiving guidance, he respectfully bid farewell and retreated to a quiet location, accompanied by a group of 60 monks. To practice the teachings diligently, he was determined, saying, "I will not recline or rest during these 3 months of the rainy season." Unfortunately, during this period, Chakku Palathera developed an eye disease. Doctors came to provide treatment and prescribed eye drops for healing. However, he refused to use the medication, determined to maintain his strict resolution. Due to his determination, the illness worsened daily, and both his eyes eventually became blind. Despite this, Chakku Palathera reached the state of arahantship, complete liberation, achieving ultimate spiritual realization. Events after liberation. When the rainy season ended, Chakku Palathera prepared to travel to pay respects to the Buddha, who was staying at Jetavana Monastery near Savatthi. During his journey, while walking one night after a rainstorm, he unknowingly stepped on many insects, causing their death. Being blind, he was unaware of this and had no intention to harm them. The next morning, other monks discovered the dead insects along his path. They criticized and mocked Chakku Palathera for his actions, believing them to be unwholesome deeds. They reported the matter to the Buddha. The Buddha's clarification. The Buddha explained to the monks, "My disciples, Chakku Palathera has no intention of harming any beings. As an arahant, he is free of malicious intent." The monks, curious and puzzled, asked why Chakku Palathera had become blind despite attaining liberation. The Buddha then recounted Chakku Palathera's past life, the story of a past life. In a previous life, Chakku Palathera was a doctor specializing in eye treatment. One day, he was summoned to treat a woman from a village who had an eye disease. The woman promised, "If you cure my eyes, my children and I will become your servants." The doctor successfully treated her eyes, restoring her vision. However, the woman, unwilling to fulfill her promise, layman claimed that her condition had worsened. Furious at her dishonesty, the doctor devised a plan to harm her. He provided her with poison disguised as medicine, which caused her to lose her sight entirely. Because of this intentional act, Chakku Palathera faced the consequences of his past actions in this life, resulting in blindness despite his spiritual liberation. The Buddha concluded the story with this verse from the Dhammapada. Verse 1, Yamakavega. Mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief. They are all mind-wrought. If with an impure mind a person speaks or acts, suffering follows them like the wheel that follows the ox. This verse from the Dhammapada is rich with meaning and emphasizes the fundamental role of the mind in shaping our actions and experiences. Here's a breakdown. Number 1. Mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief. They are all mind-wrought. This line underscores that the mind is the origin of all our thoughts, words, and deeds. Everything we experience in life starts with the mind. Our mental states, whether positive or negative, directly influence how we interpret and respond to the world around us. Number 2. If with an impure mind a person speaks or acts, when our thoughts are driven by negativity, such as anger, greed, jealousy, or hatred, they manifest in our speech and actions. These unwholesome acts can harm others and ourselves, setting the stage for further suffering. Number 3. Suffering follows them like the wheel that follows the ox. This metaphor highlights the inevitability of the consequences of our actions, just as the wheel of a cart relentlessly follows the ox pulling it. Suffering will always follow unwholesome thoughts and deeds. It signifies the karmic principle that our actions, rooted in impure intentions, have repercussions. Practical application. The verse teaches mindfulness and self-awareness. By recognizing the power of our thoughts, we can train our minds to cultivate positivity, compassion, and kindness. This, in turn, leads to virtuous actions and helps us avoid the cycle of suffering caused by negativity. It's a profound reminder that the journey to peace and happiness begins with purifying the mind. Mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief. They are all mind-wrought. If, with an impure mind, a person speaks or acts, suffering follows them like the wheel that follows the ox. Meaning of the verse: all actions originate from the mind. If the mind is impure, it leads to unwholesome actions and inevitable suffering, just as the cartwheel follows the ox. Conversely, pure thoughts lead to wholesome actions and peace. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for more videos about the Lord Buddha teaching. Have a great day and see you all on next video.